Hello, lovelies. Happy Monday. Who is ready to jump in and to just claim this week? I am. Who's here? Say hello. There's my girl, Cassie. I am so glad to see you, Cassie. And Rebecca. Rebecca's here too. Yay. Hello, Yvonne. Good to see you. And Jenny's in the house. Bring it in. Jennifer is here too. So's Pamela. Yay. You guys, I'm all jacked up on coffee. Hello, Martha. And Kathy. Good to see you guys all. Oh, it's happy Monday to you, Shara. Everyone, are you ready? We are sprinting. Hello, Brenda, Evelyn, yay. And there's my girl, Amy. Juanita, hello. And Lisa's in the house too. Oh, my ladies, I love seeing you. Hello, Joan. And Joanne, sprint on, right on. We should have that be a hashtag. Mary Ann's joining us, and so is Barbara. Susan, hello, Susan and Jane. Look at you ladies, just all pounding the pavement, coming in, ready to do it. Doris and Diane, hello. And Anita, hello. She's back to lunch with Leanne. I'm holding you to that, Cassie. I will find you. Somebody's having hot milk chicken. Kathy is. Ooh, yum. And Pamela's drinking coffee. And there's Mary. Hey, listen. I am telling you what. Don't ask me why, but I've been on coffee and I just now broke my fast. Broke my fast. I had a scramble this morning. You know what the scramble is, loves? You definitely do. It is in the Sprint. Veronique, what a pretty name. I am so glad to see you all. Thank you so much for joining me. And here we are on Monday, the first day of the Sprint. I am so excited. Gracie, thank you. This is not a haircut that any professional did. This is pandemic hair. And I've got some roots going on here. And you can see the gray up there. Don't look. So let's talk about, this is Motivational Monday. This is how we get everything off the ground today, right? If you're a part of the Sprint, then I am to be, great, because we are sprinting and we are on fire. My girls are on fire. I love it. My lovelies. Let's do it. So, first of all, the Sprint has started today, as you know. Oh, who needs, Tracy, we are praying for you. Yes, definitely. I'm sorry. Yeah, I understand. There are things that trigger us to have all the feelings, all the things. And, all I am going to say to you is, let's not stand in our way. Let's not ignore what's going on in our lives. Let's not ignore what's going on in the world. But let's have a focus this week. Let's have a focus on how we can really leverage the things that we already know and really play full out. Really be in it all the way. What do you say? Are you with me on that? This weekend, a friend of mine, Fillmore Strunk, who is the pastor of and the rector of All Saints in Charlotte, North Carolina. That is an Anglican church. And he's a love. I've known him since the day someday I will tell you the entire story of how I met him, because this is how God lines things up, right? This is how God lines things up. Anyway, so he and his wife, Sandy, I've been dear friends with, and they both went through COVID, by the way, came out the other side, but they both were, pretty much hit by a truck with this whole thing. It was just really terrible. But he posted something on Facebook. It was a Tony Evans, little small 15-minute sermon in light of all the things that were going on. And he penetrated my heart, Tony Evans did. And something that he said, which is what I am using, I've kind of hijacked this from Tony, I think he'd be okay with it, is giving visible to the verbal. I love that, because that is just very distinct. And that is what we're going to be discussing today, because this is how we move from here over to there, and how we stop becoming just women who give a bunch of lip service into women who actually do the service. And whether it's to ourselves, to our families, to the community, the point is that we need to move from over here to over here. We can't move the needle if we sit and just wait. Sitting and waiting it's worthless, totally worthless. So our quote of the week is, I think, also plays into this. It's a Maya Angelou quote. You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. Reduced by them is what captured me, because we do have a tendency to allow the weight of the world on our shoulders. We have a tendency to allow those things to captivate our attention and also to captivate our energy. We do not need to be reduced by the things of this world. We need to be prayerful about the things in this world, and we also need to know what things we have control over and what things we do not. It's why I was talking to you today, or I would say this week, I have been talking about, we can control certain things in our lives, like what goes in our mouths, for example. And that, in and of itself, it will build strength. It builds strength of character. It helps us to see, and it helps us to grow, and helps us to build the kind of life that we want to have. Carla, thank you for sharing. I really appreciate that. And by the way, to all of you who listen to this, either live or recorded, either here on Facebook or on YouTube, you share this because you care and because you like what I'm saying, I guess. And I just want you to know how much I appreciate that, and what genuine friends you are. And this is the kind of community that we're building, and I cannot tell you how exquisitely appreciative I am of that. So thank you for that. This week, and before we dig into the content, we have our Leptofix. That's the supplement of the week. Gosh, I just can't even figure out how to show you that. There it is, Leptofix. Our leptin gets broken when we do things. You understand that, right? You understand that. Have you ever done this? Like, you've just changed your diet and then all of a sudden you're just like starving? That's your leptin saying, hey, guess what? Me over here. What are you doing? You've juggled the apple cart. You're tipping things over. And this fixes it. It makes it so that you're not having to be a slave to those cravings and to all the other stuff, and it helps to correct your leptin. The L-glutamine, you've seen me show you this before. The L-glutamine really helps also with just killing and crunching those cravings right at the knees. So keep that in mind. But when you put Leptofix in your cart, you get free shipping. And I don't care what you order. You can order everything we've got. It will still be free for you. You just put ships free in the little promo window, and bada bing, bada bang, there you are. Friday's Q&A, always. And if you want me to answer a question about nutrition, cooking, supplements, whatever it is, whatever question you have, I am happy to do so. You do it on Fridays. And you send an email into support@savingdinner.com, and in the subject line, question for Leanne on Friday. That's how it happens. And I will answer it for you. That's Scout's honor. And those of you who support us with dinner answers, thank you. We support you right back with menus, recipes, and shopping lists delivered to you, no matter how you eat, every single Tuesday. So thank you for that. Right now, pricing is at $7 a month. We call it pandemic pricing. And we do that because we want to be supportive of you, and we appreciate you being supportive of us. I like it when things work back and forth like that, don't you? So there you go. And don't forget, Saving Dinner, if you go to Saving Dinner, you just say, well, just give me a recipe. You can get those on in our daily dish. Just subscribe. It's easy. It's free. Do that. You'll get a pop-up. You just pop up, you do it, it's done. We love it when you do that. And don't forget that Mindful mug. If you spend $200, we're going to send that to you absolutely free, along with a little card that looks something like this, because I love to send little things to say how much I love you, because I do. You know that already. You know that. So what about this giving visible to the verbal? You have experienced this before. You've experienced this how many times, right? Where you have seen that your hard work has given you given you reward. Anybody who's ever been in labor knows that all that work will produce a baby. Anybody who has ever had a garden has seen what pulling out all those weeds, what working and giving the water, making sure that it had the sun, keeping it fenced in away from all the critters that would want to eat it. You've seen and reaped the reward of all that work. But one of the things that we get caught up with, and this is what I saw with this Tony Evans when he was talking about this giving visible to the verbal, I thought that was so brilliant. And by the way, what a beautiful man Tony Evans is. I think it's tonyevans.org. He has little snippets and stuff, and it'll just feed your soul. He's a man of the cloth. He's a pastor. He just lost his beloved wife, Lois, of many years in January of this year. So he's been through a lot, and he's a black man. He has seen and felt and known all the things that most of us have not experienced none of us here are black men, but you know exactly what I'm saying. And he had a lot to say. He had some insight from that whole place of being there. And I appreciated everything that he had to say, but he was also talking about our character and who we need to be and how our giving visible to the verbal is basically being women of our word. And we've spoken about this before a few times. We have gone through that in different ways. And this is, when we have this time together, what I'm always looking at is there's a lot of different ways to talk about the same thing, but what perspective is going to launch in your heart and cause the change? Because we're all different, and we need to respect that for sure. But what I look at here is that when we're not keeping our words to ourselves, what happens is that we feel the trust factor just within ourselves erodes. The credibility that we have and let's just see if this will work. It's why we jump on the carousel like crazy. Because we figure the problem isn't us. The problem is the plan, the community, the this, the that. And, is that really what it is? Or is it just that we haven't connected the dots within and dug into the character of who we are to be women of our word? Because if we're not women of our word, if we're not following through on the things that we say that we're going to do, the trust factor within ourselves is gone. And that is devastating. It limits us, and it makes us start to look out for all the things in our worlds that aren't going right and trying to blame shift where it is, when in fact we have to do a little soul searching. We have to do a little anthropology, kind of a dig into our archaeological dig into our souls. What's going on here? Why am I not following through on the things that I want to follow through on? Right now, I love to use the sprint as an example, because when I have people who push back and I say, hold up, I'm asking you for a 7-day commitment. That's it. I don't want to get married. I don't want to, I'm not asking you to have my children. I'm not asking for you to put my kids through college. I'm asking you for 7 days. Can you back away from the cream in your coffee for 7 days? Do you have that within you? And I'm going to tell you right now, you do. Because you're so much stronger than you think. You just haven't connected those dots. So I have 7 things for you then on how we can connect to those things so that we can become women of our word. We want to be women of our word. We want to be women of our word for ourselves. You hear me? When you do that, everything changes, because now your word is gold. Your word's golden. You can take it to the bank. Oh, she said this, she's going to do it. And when you can think about that with yourself, how much better off are you? How much more can you put, how much more stock can you put in yourself? You can believe in yourself. You can have confidence. Yes, I'm going to do that. But sometimes what it is we just are not cognizant of the fact that we're constantly breaking our words to ourselves. And that is disruptive. That breaks the connection between heart, mind, and soul. It does. It's completely disruptive, and it throws the whole thing out. And it makes us feel like I just can't do anything. And then we're back on to the carousel of crazy, thinking, oh, well, let's go find a new plan. Let's go find a new guru. Let's read a new book. Let's find a new whatever. And there's nothing wrong with gathering research and looking at different things and finding out stuff. And I'm always telling you, go read the research on it. But what's wrong is when we don't dig and we don't look at what's going on. Why am I not following through on this? Have I made it too hard? Is what's going on here? I believe with all my heart that when we start to connect with that and we start to really understand how crucial this is, then we find a strength inside that we never knew we had. It comes out. It bursts through the earth just like a flower. And I want you to hold on to that visual for a minute, because I'm going to go through all of these things. And I'm going to make it, some of this is going to click with you and you're going to say, yeah, that's me right there. Some of it, maybe all of it. And some of it is just like, no, I'm already doing that. So let's just look at it. So the first thing I want to look at is that we wait. We wait for the opportune time. Well, not this time. It's just not going to work. And there's always a reason why we can't just jump in there and do it. What is that? What is this delay factor? And I think of it more as a delay excuse. There's always something. There's never perfect timing. There's always, well, I got to wait for the kids to go to college. Really? How about just show up? Or it's Monday, or I need a new book, or not until I can go make the perfect bone broth and I can't find chicken feet, so I can't do it. There's reasons why. We make all these reasons why and rationalize and excuse ourselves from the table of life. We're missing out. We think if we can't do it perfect, we can't do it at all. And I will invite you back to this idea of doing it excellently is what we can do, and doing the best to our ability is what we can do, and that perfect is never going to be seen in this lifetime until we're on the other side of glory. Perfect doesn't exist on this earth. And if you don't believe me, just go to CNN.com right now and just take a look. It's a mess out there. It is a mess. Never in my lifetime did I think we'd be living through basically a second wave of the civil rights, a pandemic in our own country. Never in my lifetime. You don't think that the world is a mess, but you have the control over what is going on right now in your own house, what's in your own refrigerator, and what goes into your own mouth. That should bring you such comfort. It brings me a whole lot of comfort because that's something I can control. That's huge. Don't wait. Do not wait. I promise you, you have things that you can do right now, and even if they don't line up exactly with everything that's in the sprint, I promise you, you can at least start. I promise you that you can at least go to the place of doing some of the soul searching and some of the work that is so critical for this journey. I promise you, with everything that I have, that it's worth your time. We have to, number 2, is stop the excuse manufacturing. I kind of hit on that a little bit, but boy, do we have them. From everything. Well, I can't get a body clutter buddy, or I forgot you were on, or geez, oh, is it this week? We always have something in our back pocket that we can pull out. It's sort of like going to, the Olympics and they're holding up the numbers. We've got the numbers of why we can't perform on the ice. And my whole thing to you is that we can. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be 100% all in, this, that, and the other thing. I want to bring you to that place. And if you've been with me for a while, then I'm going to call you to that. And then do the best that you can with what you got. I will never hold that against you. But if you're making excuses and you're, doing all this stuff, no, don't do that. You're letting yourself down. You're not just letting me down in your community. You're letting yourself down. It doesn't need to be that way. You don't need to manufacture excuses. You need to manufacture reasons why. Why can I do this? Why can I follow through on this one thing? Why can I, why can I stop snacking? Because I don't need to be snacking. Snacking is entertainment. Snacking isn't a meal. Snacking isn't necessary. You have a little hunger pain? Buck up. Give it 5 minutes. Go have a glass of water. Let's see what you can do. What are you made of? Start asking yourself those questions. What am I made of? You're made of a whole lot more than you give yourself credit for. I'll tell you that right now. That is a promise. Because when you start to dig in and when you start taking no excuses, the stronger you get. You will feel inside a shift and a change. And I invite you to that shift and that change. Feel it and embrace it. Hold on to it and know that's the strong you coming out. That's the person that has thrown aside all of those rationalizations, all those reasons why you can't, and now you're digging into the reasons why you can, because you can. Failure is a habit. You hear me on that? Failure is a habit. Because we've got all this back end stuff that we can build into, oh, why it's not working. Oh, I was overwhelmed. Well, the pandemic. Well, I had this, and then my mother, and then I had this, and then there's that over here. Oh, we could probably right now, if I open this all up, we could probably come up with 100 reasons why we fail. It's a habit, though. I want you to look for the habit, the habitual patterns. They're there. I promise you, they're there. Just this once won't hurt. Well, just a little bit. Well, it was a celebratory thingy going on. There was this, there was that. I'm telling you, I know, because who do you think's talking to you right now? I've had my fair share. I've got my battle scars. I understand about all of this. Understanding, though, isn't excusing it. I'm not going to push it away. I'm going to call you on it. I'm going to call you on it because I want you out of it. It's destroying your life. It's giving you a half the life you want. And if we're going to be thinking about the things that we want to expand in our lives, we have to be thinking about things that are going to move the needle. What's going to make the difference between not doing it and coming up with all these excuses versus actually doing it? Well, it's this stuff. It's understanding and being cognizant of what the heck is going on. Why? And then it's doing the things that you need to do in order to not do them anymore. And I am not going to say to you, oh, it's just like this. It's not. That's a cha-cha right there. You'd make 2 steps forward and then you make a couple back, and then you get frustrated and you're thinking, it's hard. This is a struggle. I can't figure this out. And I say to you, that's the point where you got to hold on even tighter and say, oh no, I can figure this out. Oh no, I'm not going to cha-cha back. I'm going to cha-cha forward. Think about that. This is how we get off the carousel of crazy, and how we start to make the progress in our lives and do the things that we want to do. And really do the things that we want to do. Not just give lip service, not just give a verbal, here it is. We want to give visible to the verbal. We give visible to the verbal when we become women of our word. That's it. It's that simple. Easy? Not so much. It takes a minute. It takes some doing, and we have to respect that process. Because when we respect the process and understand what's going on, that means we are in our lives. We're conscious. We're not just automatic pilot just going, oh, I just don't even know what happened with this day. Have you had a day like that? Have you ever been in the car where you're driving and you just say, oh my gosh, I don't even remember driving here. That's how most of us live our lives. And I say, come on back. When I talk about the mindful mug, well, we need a mindful mind. Be mindful, be present, be aware what's going on. Because when we're not, then all of this old stuff that we don't like shows up to take down our results, to put us back into the same old, and to make us frustrated and sick and not losing weight, not having a vibrant life, just ugh. It doesn't work. So hold yourself to this higher standard. And when you hold yourself to this higher standard, what does that mean? That means that you have a body clutter buddy. You're talking to somebody about this. I want to be accountable. I want this in my life, not that. I choose this. I want to give visible to the verbal. I don't want to live my life in a way that's I'm just constantly excusing myself. That is no way to live. That is living a life of regret. And that's not to say that it's just going to be perfection overnight. And I hope, and it's not going to be perfection overnight. Excellence is understanding perfection doesn't happen, but it's not going to be excellent overnight either. There's going to be some give and take. There's going to be some learning curve. There's going to be all of that. But don't let the frustration of not getting there like that keep holding you back. You know, this sprint it's Monday, first day. We have 7 days. Most people go off the rails on the weekends. They're thinking, hey, I did so great. And then all of a sudden Saturday and Sunday come, boom, it's all gone. Who are you? Are you a woman of substance? Are you a woman of your word? Do you want to hold fast to the things that you want? Are you willing to say no to a little pasta or a glass of wine for your sake so that you can hold on to a promise that you made to yourself? There's such a huge thing there. And when you keep your promises to yourself, you keep your promises to other people, and you change, and you become more, and you become elevated in your life. Things are amazing. Things become different, and things have more possibilities because you are digging inside. And then, you know, the other things I'm going to say to you, you guys know this. If you find that you've created a goal that's just like ridiculous, maybe it's too much, fine, step it down. And don't just ditch it and say, oh, this just doesn't work. Well, maybe you've had too high of a goal for like you're saying, oh, I want to lose 10 pounds on the sprint. Well, most people, that's not going to happen. You know, there's occasions where we do have people who lose a tremendous amount, but who cares? It's not about that. It's about holding fast to the promises that you've made. Holding fast to the promises that you made is going to get you to the next thing, and then to the next thing, and to the next thing. And it means that your life no longer has all the limitations on it that you thought it did. That's how significant this is. It's huge. And the last thing is we have to give ourselves grace. Grace, grace, grace. Grace isn't an excuse. You know what grace is? Grace is the ability to see that you're doing things excellently, you've made a few mistakes along the way, but you are still laser focused on what it is that you want to do. And you understand that grace means that it will not be perfect. Grace means that it will be excellent though, and that you are giving it your all. And that's my call to you. I want you to give it your all. I want you all in. Whatever that means to you, wherever you are, whatever time, sprint number this is for you. I've got women who's done it 6, 7, 8, 9 times. I've got women that's the first time that they're doing it. Doesn't matter. What I've seen, what I know, and my experience, and believe me, I get to pull the age card. I'm 62 years old. I have been a nutrition counselor since the 90s. What I have seen is this. She who shows up, she who is present, she who is verbal is the one who they get the golden ticket at the very end. They get the prize. They get the prize because they're present. They're not just in the back. And I know that there's going to be people always in the back who are going to be doing work too. But I also know too that when you show up and you announce yourself and you say, hold me to this, I am not wavering, I am in this to win it, I want this. I'm all in. Things just pop. Things pop. And I am telling you, and I promise you this, from the very, very bottom of my feet, that when you start doing this work, when you dig in like this, you are going to find a strength inside that you never knew existed. That strength is going to take you to the very next thing. I promise you. This is where we are. I told you about the supplements. We went all in, all in. And let me just tell you, do you think that scared me a little bit? You know, pulling out the credit card and just going, oh, please God, don't let this be a bust. You think? But I'm doing this because I care about you. I care about me. I see the future. I know what I can do. I know what you can do with the right tools, and we're in it. We are 1,000% in it. And when we are playing full out, what we see in our lives, we're watching that expand, aren't we? That's what's filling up our space. We are celebrating victories. We're celebrating the fact that we are feeling better. Everything becomes better. It is an up level of your life to no end. And it's not just about the cute jeans. It's about your life, the vibrancy of your life. And I want you to think about that this week as every time you're doing that, every time you're saying no to a glass of wine, every time you're saying no to this or no to that, I don't want you to think deprivation. I want you to think about your strength of character and the promise that you made to yourself and who you are. Are you going to show up? Pinkies up, ladies. Show up. I want to see the commitment. I want to see the vibrancy. I want to see the strength that you have. And show out. Show me. Show me where you are. Because I believe within every fiber of my being that you all have it within. Maybe it's undiscovered for some of you. Maybe it's something that was way in the past. It doesn't matter. It's there. And I just want you to concentrate on that. I want you to write about it in your journal. I want you to be praying about it. I want you to look at your life and figure out what it is that you want and start digging, because your strength is inside of you, and all I'm doing right now is poking at you. It's not me, it's you. Show up. Show up. And don't forget, mindfulness in everything. Mindfulness. Our pinkies up is our pinky swear, Marvella. And sometimes we have a pinky clap when we're happy. But pinkies up is just, this is solidarity right here. This is our manifesto to ourselves of being strong, character-filled women, women of our word, wanting to live an up-leveled, vibrant life. This is it. This is what we do. We put our pinkies up and we do it. And when we yell pinkies up, that means one, you know, it's like we're the Three Musketeers, all for one and one for all. We are on this together. And I'm telling you, the energy I feel from you right now, is it possible through a Facebook Live? I think so. I feel it and I know it. And I will see you in the sprint group later on. I love you guys. You're the best. Pass it on. Let's get our community booming. Peace.